Voucher, hello and welcome to Keith's Whisky Vlog. In this video I'm going to do a little whisky tasting for you. It's part of a little series that I'm doing of 5 different whiskies from a single distillery. A distillery quite close to Glasgow, through in the west of Scotland, about halfway between Glasgow and Loch Lomond. The distillery, of course, is the Glengoyne Distillery. So concealed here in Keith's golden whisky tube is a little miniature of the Glengoyne 12-year-old. Discard the tube for the time being. Now, when I was through at Glengoyne the last time, I picked up a few little miniatures. I've got one full-size bottle which will come a little bit later in this series as well, but the Glengoyne 12-year-old is the sort of subject of my affections in this little video. Now, Glengoyne, beautiful distillery, very picturesque. It sits right on the cusp of the Highlands and Lowlands in Scotland. It's right on the Highland line. So what they like to say at Glengoyne is that the whisky is distilled in the Highlands, and right over the road in front of the distillery are the warehouses, which are in the Lowlands. So it's distilled in the Highlands, matured in the Lowlands. Now, I'm not sure if officially it is a Lowland single malt, but it does say on the bottles that it is Highland Single Malt Scotch Whisky. So who am I to disagree? As long as they make good whisky, and they do. Their little slogan at Glengoyne is unhurried since 1833, when they got their first sort of license to distill whisky. A perfect balance of rich intensity and citrus freshness, toffee apples, ginger, shortbread, and a hint of spice, rounded off with a smooth oak finish. Now, they use quite a lot of sherry barrels. I think more or less exclusively sherry barrels at Glengoyne, certainly for their core range. So although there's no smoke whatsoever in Glengoyne, they've got that little sort of sherry sweetness, which is right up my street. 43% this one comes in at, so we'll have a little taste for you of the Glengoyne 12. I'm just going to have about half of this and save the rest. Once I've done the individual tastings of my Glengoyne haul, I'm going to do a little blind comparison. I'll get the good lady wife to pour me what's left into 5 glasses, and I'll not know which one's which. I'll do a little taste and tell you which one I prefer. Maybe rank them in order. We'll see how we go. I'm sure I'll enjoy them all. So, as well as grabbing all my my whiskies at Glengoyne, I also decided to push the boat out and go for a Glengoyne Glencairn tasting glass. Nice big one as well. Okie dokie. Now, Glengoyne, I'm sure that you know, a glen in Scotland is the word for a valley, and Glengoyne comes from the Gaelic for the glen of the wild geese. Okay, so we'll start off as always on the nose. Oh. So it's quite orangey on the nose, quite strong there. It's almost sort of marmalade, that orange sort of zest. Really got a strange, trying to explain it, it's so hard. There's a real waxiness, I wouldn't say oiliness, a real waxiness. There's a thickness to this in the nose. You've got that orange, there's almost a honey, but it's the gloopiness rather than the taste almost. But a real waxiness. You get the sherry coming through as well. So orange, waxy, almost a little bit dusty somehow. I don't know how that works, but it's not damp, it's not musty, but it's sort of dusty. A big change to compared to the 10. Really interesting. Yeah, a lot less unusual in the mouth. We're just looking at a straight down the line single malt Scotch. No smoke obviously. Quite refreshing. Less of that orange. It's not gloopy in the mouth. Still got that waxiness somehow about it. A little bit of the dust still, almost in the aftertaste. But quite orangey. Still got the sherry. A real sort of dry oakiness. Not really getting much of the sort of toffee sweetness coming off it though, the butterscotch or the fudge or anything. It's just quite a dry woodiness. Orangey, waxy, dry, woody in the mouth. Give it another shot in the mouth. Neat. That sort of dry woodiness, maybe a sort of, almost like a sort of cocoa powder, something like that, but really quite an interesting whisky. Let's open this right out. So it's 43%, I think I said. Yep. So yeah, so we're starting to get sort of more sugariness, more like sort of tablet. Still not that real sweet toffee, but sort of tablets, a little bit more, it's almost a bit more sort of sugary texture in your mouth. It's not smooth, it's a bit granular almost. That's what I think I'm trying to say. Definitely the sherry, so you've got the fruitiness, but still those citrus notes in there as well. Mostly orange, so it's not too sharp, it's nice and sweet, quite lush, quite almost like sort of macerated fruit, I suppose, as opposed to your sharp lemon or your sharp lime. So it's that oranginess. Very interesting whisky, very interesting. I think I like it quite a lot. The 10-year-olds are very easy to drink, and this has got much more of a mouth tingle. Again, you still got that dry woodiness. So yeah, the 12-year-old, you can probably see I'm struggling a little bit to put into words exactly what I think. So a waxiness, an oiliness almost, a dustiness, the feel of honey without the flavour of honey, sort of dry wood, oak, a little bit of sort of cocoa dust sprinkled in it somehow. Quite an unusual whisky, appreciably different from the 10-year-old. So there's the Glengoyne 12 for you. Now, what we're going to tell you, if you can't get this, where are you going to go? You're probably looking at something like the Glengoyne 15, the sort of the standard Glengoyne. It's a Highland single malt, not very close to Glengoyne at all really, but Oban 14, it's a bit more coastal, but again just that little bit more maturation, giving it a little bit more complexity, something a bit more about it. And probably talking about, I don't know, just for pure confusion, something like the Cragan Moor up on Speyside. It's a little bit of a opinion divider. So the Glengoyne 15, the Cragan Moor, and the Oban 14. If you can't get this, check out them, see where you go. So yes, Whisky Tour Guide Keith is a little bit confused by the Glengoyne 12-year-old, but he thinks he quite likes it. So don't know why I'm talking in the third person. If you liked this video, if you like Glengoyne, check out my other videos, check out my other Glengoyne videos. I'm going to do a whole series, and I'm also going to do the blind comparison Glengoyne range tasting, so look out for that one as well. Thank you for watching. All that's left for me to say is Cheers for now, Slán Jabá, and I'll see you in another video. Thank you, bye.